Hey guys, so today we are in East Manchester in Ashton and we're visiting Saif's project, which is behind me. As you can see, this big building is not a buy-to-let, it's a bit bigger than that. It is a 12-bed, all-en-suite HMO that started off life as a commercial building. It's a cracker, this one, and we're gonna have a look inside now and take you through the process of how it was found, how it was funded, and how it was refurbed. Let's head inside now. All right, so we're here on the ground floor entrance hallway of this 12-bed HMO, and it's laid out as pretty much a mirror of each floor. So on the ground floor here, we've got 6 bedrooms, all en suite, and we've got a kitchen living space as well, and it's exactly the same upstairs. Now, I'm not gonna go through every single bedroom with you because this would be a very long and a very boring video, but I am gonna show you a stage bedroom on each floor. We're gonna have a look at the kitchens, and then we're gonna have a chat with Saif himself, who has delivered this project for his client. So let's go take a look at the first bedroom now, which is down the hallway at the end. As you can see, this is a huge bedroom for a HMO, really good size and space. We've got obviously the bed and the bedside table here, but then behind the camera, if you follow me around here, we've got a study area. Really important these days, have somewhere to work if you want to work from home, or just a bit of a chill out area. Wardrobe as standard, and then the ensuite inside here. All these ensuites are pretty much the same. They've got a great size shower, sink, toilet, and radiator. So each floor has its own kitchen. So effectively, this is 2 6-bed HMOs, one on top of the other. This is the ground floor kitchen. Let's go and take a look. Bear in mind, this isn't for 12 people, this is for 6 people. We've got 6 on each floor, but as you can see, great sized dining table. Everybody can eat there at once if they wanted to, but that's quite rare in a HMO. We've got a TV area here, and one thing you'll notice is this is a combined kitchen living space, which is pretty common in HMOs. It really helps to kind of, I suppose, keep down the space requirements, but also it gives more of a communal feel for the people that are living here. So you've got plenty of fridge freezer space. There's actually 2 fridge freezers in this kitchen, one on this side and one on the other. And then we've got 1 hob. You can have 2, it's sort of borderline in a 6-bed, whether you'd have 2, 1 is enough, and this is obviously a big one. 2 ovens there, another kitchen, fridge freezer on that side, and then washer dryers down here as well. So a really nice high spec kitchen living space for the professional tenants that are going to be living here. So I wanted to show you this part of the project, which might just look like a pretty boring entrance hallway, but if you're looking to do similar projects of this kind of size, you need to think about space and storage for things like the fire plan, fire alarm systems, utility cupboards, post for tenants. Bear in mind, you've got 12 different households in this property, and this is something that can get missed if you're just thinking about the bedrooms and the kitchen. So always bear in mind that wherever your front door is, you're going to need people coming through. They're going to need places where they can get posts and also see sort of announcements in the property, notice boards and things like that. Okay, so that's the downstairs, got a good flavour of the bedrooms and the kitchen space. We're now going to take a look upstairs and see the differences on the other 6-bed HMO upstairs. Let's go. Okay, another little thing that you'll notice when it comes to larger HMOs is you've got to think about utility costs and the prices of things like electrics and heating. Now, in communal spaces like this hallway, you'll notice there's not actually any light switches, and that's because these are on a proximity sensor. So if you come up the stairs, the lights will come off, they'll be on a timer, and then eventually they'll turn off. It's a really good way of just saving a little bit of cost in the areas where it's going to benefit you. Okay, so another really good sized bedroom, and as you can see here again, we've got a study area, we've got storage for clothes, we've got the ensuite on my left, and a really large bed space area. One of the features that stands out here is the space has been separated here by a bit of a partition, which just means you can separate your sort of sleeping area from your working area. And this bedroom's actually gone for somewhere between $8 to $8.50 per month. So great rents in the area. Right, so that's the bedroom shown on this floor. Pretty much all of them follow a similar kind of pattern. We're going to take a look now at the kitchen. And just a really important point before we go in is please make sure if you're going to do a project like this, get your signage up, because these places can be like a labyrinth if you don't have the right numbers or names up. I'm hoping this is the kitchen. It is! So here we go, another fantastic space, slightly different colour scheme, but again, you've got your cooking area, surfaces for prep, really good sized kitchen table, lots of space for storage for fridge freezer. That's important. Sometimes people try and get away with one, but it's always better to have an American style fridge freezer in a 6-bed, just so that people get enough, well, American style or 2 single fridge freezers. And then we've got the seated area over here with the TV and the sofa. And finally, not to miss, the utility area here as well. Washer dryers. So a fantastic project, a big one, 12-bed all-en-suite HMO, something that might feel like a big daunting project if you're maybe used to just doing smaller buy-to-lets, but we're gonna have a chat now with Saif. Now I've known Saif for about 4 years, and when I first met Saif, he was a full-time accountant, and in the time that he's been in property, he's taken on bigger and bigger projects to now doing things of this size, and he's got some really interesting insights that he's going to share with us. So let's go and have a chat with Saif now and hear more about this exciting project. Okay, hey guys, so I'm here now with Saif, who has delivered this amazing project. Saif, good to see you, my friend. So getting straight into it, mate, how did you find the project?
So we got this from a sourcer that is pretty much just buying sites, putting planning on them and selling them on to other people. Yeah. And we just so happen to be that other person in this scenario. We got it for a good price. The property needed a lot of construction work.
So what was it sort of before?
It was a funeral home, a rundown funeral home, with some very, very bad stories about how they ran the funeral home.
And you wanted to breathe new life into it.
Oh yeah. But mate, honestly, some scary stuff like wrong bodies going to funerals and all that jazz, you name it.
Really?
Honestly, the whole thing.
I've never heard that before.
The whole thing. So it was a tough one. We had to bring in a priest and an imam to come and bless the site because none of the lads wanted to, and I didn't really want to. There was like some really groovy chills that were going through this place.
Just before we go any further, we're not in the morgue bit, are we? No. Okay.
We are actually in the coffin making room.
Right. Oh, good. So now the coffee making room.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Well, so we had all of that, and the site needed a lot of structural work. Like the back half has been completely rebuilt, and naturally there was only a select few developers within this guy's network that could take on such a project. He came to me, we had a look around it, I was confident that we knew everything that needed to be done. And I would say probably very small minor things that were hidden surprises. We took this back to a skeleton, so like it got to a point where like damp doesn't really matter for what we're on our list of issues. What we're on our list of issues. We bought this off market. I remember this being on market probably 3 years ago for a lot cheaper price, which is absolutely fine. It didn't have planning then. Someone's basically got the risk out of it, and then we're able to go through it confidently. When we bought it, we're just ready, steady, go.
Right. So for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers, this was off market from a property sourcer, not a magician. That's somebody who finds deals for other people. And it was previously a commercial property, it was a funeral home, and you had to take that through a process to convert that into what it is today. And in order to do that, that would require planning. Now, was this a case of the drawings were done, but you had to go through planning, or had the planning already been?
Planning had been accepted.
Okay. And what were the plans for?
It was for a 12-bed HMO, which were good. We've optimized the layout to make it seem a little bit more.
So you took those plans and kind of reassessed them with an architect that you know specialises in this.
Exactly. So once you've got the envelope planning of a 12-bed HMO, you could do 11 really small rooms and one absolute master suite if you wanted to. What we did was, it was 7 rooms upstairs originally, 5 downstairs. The kitchen layout was like an L shape. We knew it wouldn't really come or be the best welcome by tenants. I wouldn't live in that sort of place. So we optimized the layout, it was actually, this was one of the bedrooms.
Right.
So we knew that this was such a big size. So we thought, wait a second, why don't we swap this, change some of the layouts, change some of the walls. And what we've now done is we've layered all of the bathrooms on top of each other.
So you've got the runs.
Literally, every bathroom upstairs just runs straight down.
Got it.
And connects into the bathroom.
And I think that's a really good point, because that's probably something that if you're newer to this, it's not really something you think about. But with your project management experience, you look at getting waste out of the building, pipe runs, floor joists, which way things are going. Yeah. So from that point, you agreed a deal with the sourcer. They take a fee, don't they? Which you factor into your numbers. What was the timeline from offer accepted to completion, purchase completion, and being on site?
We viewed in June.
Yeah.
Viewed the second time in June. Offer accepted start of July. Deal completed by end of September.
Okay, so a couple of months. And is this a project that you bought for your own portfolio or for a client? Maybe just give us a little overview.
So this is a joint venture with another funder. So we've created a separate entity, an SPV, for this specific property. One, with the intention of building more within this SPV, or if, one of our main exits is potentially to sell this, we have the option of selling the SPV as well to whoever the buyer is.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I talk a lot about to people getting into property is this three-legged stool idea of you either need money, knowledge, or the experience. So in this partnership, somebody's bringing the money, that's correct, and you're bringing the knowledge, experience, and the time to deliver the deal.
Absolutely.
And that works really, really well.
Yeah, it worked great for them. Worked awesome for us.
Yeah.
We've strategically structured the deal to make it a real win-win between the funder and myself.
Yeah.
And at the same time, what's the best way to put it? You look at things in a bit more of an outlook when you have an equity stake within the property, as opposed to being a project manager solely.
Yeah.
But I say on this one, this is no different in terms of spec and finish to what we've done to the ones that we've just project managed as well. So I'd say this has been a real culmination of all of the mistakes that we've made on some of the stuff, the learnings we've had, the feedback we've had to come to this now, and the numbers talking for it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges. What would you say have been the biggest challenges on this project? Because your experience at delivering HMOs, particularly larger ones now, in this particular project, what would you say one or two of the things that maybe caught you out or would be?
Main challenge, I think I rendered the building too early.
Okay.
Because the building got quite messy by the end of it. The other, I'd say, setback when I look at it the other way is we were approaching the winter months towards the end of completion. So there was a real risk of weather. And looking back at it now, I think we might have struggled to get clear runs to be able to finish the whole building, or the areas that we have rendered. So I say that was one of the challenges. One of the other challenges was understanding that the variation by building control can be quite a significant cost when you wrap it over the whole site.
Yeah.
And we had an interesting, I won't go into too much details on this, but we had a variation that got requested to be done, which ended up costing us quite a bit of money. And then come the end of it, we realised that a different inspector told us that we didn't need to do that variation.
Right.
So there were a couple of challenges in that sense where I think we'll approach things a little bit differently and get everything, all our main questions done at the start with building control. Sort of thing.
I think that's a really good point. So like experience, you can't fake that really, can you? Going through this process really helps you for the next one. We've certainly had projects like that where you look at it and you go, well, I don't regret those things, but I've learned and it'll benefit me next time, won't it?
100%.
So let's talk numbers a little bit. You mentioned about, you referenced numbers. What are the outline numbers? So what did you buy the building for? If you're happy to share, what have you spent on the renovation? And then I know we're at the end of the refurb, but the refinance hasn't gone through yet. But what are you expecting in terms of end value and rent? So purchase price first, where are we?
So purchase price, we bought this for acquisition cost 250. Spent 360 on it.
So big refurb,
Huge, like almost 30 grand a room. Well, pretty much is 30 grand a room. and we're all in for 610.
Yep.
That's all funded cash. There's no bridging, no finance involved.
Yeah.
Which has saved quite a bit of cost.
Yeah.
Gross rents are talking to be in the remit of about 115 grand a year.
Yeah.
Which, when we look at it, let's say on a really conservative 11.5% yield, which I know properties are getting around here, that we're talking a mil GDV.
Oh.
Now, our numbers were done at 900 for what we wanted. Now, if we was to still do that at 900, at a 75% revaluation, we're pulling back 675, which means
pull your money out.
And some, and probably another 60 grand on top.
Yeah.
So the joyous opportunity of this is that until we find our next site, we probably won't kickstart a refinance on this.
Okay.
So, but we are also looking at potentially selling the site at that sort of mil figure to maybe exercise. And
yeah, definitely.
Like, we're talking almost 60-65% return on cost.
That's phenomenal. I like great numbers. And in terms of where you're at now to what you forecast at the beginning, is there a massive difference from what you thought it would be?
10 grand overspent on cost.
Only 10 grand?
Yeah.
Right.
So
pretty good.
10 grand overspent on cost, which was that building control issue. And everything else, from a rental perspective, we were expecting 95k per annum. We're at 115k per annum. We're expecting our GDVs to be more closer to the sort of 10% yields, but down valuations, that sort of has counterbalanced with higher rents, lower yield, which has still pushed us up higher than where we need it to be. We're renting rooms here for 800 plus, which is, as a Manchester lad that has been in this industry,
incredible.
It's absurd, absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Like, rooms here would rent for 500, 550 pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And I understand that rent increases have gone up, but it's made deals like this so much more achievable.
Yeah.
If we've actually, the development value add on sites like this is very easy, but very hard to execute. If that makes sense. Yeah.
And look, it's risk and reward, isn't it? And you've taken the risk, big project, lot to do, big spend, but now seeing the benefits and reaping the rewards. So this is fantastic. What's next for Saif? So what have you got lined up next in the pipeline, or what are you doing at the moment?
We've got about 3 projects this size already locked in.
Yeah, similar area or different?
2 that we're doing on a project management basis in the same area in Ashton. 1 that we're doing on a project management basis that's in Trafford, which is 7 flats. It's almost double the size of this. And then we are very close to agreed 2 properties. 1 is a 7-bed HMO for myself. One is a block of 6 flats in Stockport that we're looking at, where there's 3 2-beds, 3 3-beds, but we're going to run those flats as mini HMOs within Stockport. So we're looking at that. That will be for this partner that we've got for this one. So deal wise, construction, we've probably got about 3 mil worth to spend.
Amazing.
Happy this year.
And I think, because I've known you probably 4 years, I think we first met, was it 2018, 2019?
One of your houses.
You came to my first flip, I guess, in Cheshire that I was doing, but to see your journey from, you were full-time accountant, weren't you, to now, it's just been amazing to see. And I think that's a real story for people out there listening and watching who are maybe thinking that they're in a job and what can they do. And I know from the chats that we've had, educating yourself's been massive, hasn't it? Surrounding yourself with people that are doing what you want to do. I suppose just kind of asking you a question here in terms of anybody looking at doing deals like this or getting to a point you're at where they might feel like it's quite out of reach. What advice would you give to somebody who's perhaps in the 9 to 5 thinking about getting into property, but they don't know where to start?
I was quite desperate to get out, one, mainly, because you soon realise your own ability, and when you go out and see other property investors doing what they're doing. And with our stuff, it was, we would do project management while being in a job, but very quickly got to a point where I've had 12 months worth of a salary saved. I'm not advising this is the way, but we had 12 months worth of a salary saved, and I was in a respectable job where the job market is still quite strong.
Yeah.
Still get pipped here and there to to come back into the industry.
Yeah.
As an accountant, but got to the point where I thought, forget it. Let's just jump. I'll earn enough for savings.
Yeah.
For 12 months. Worked at it. The timing, I couldn't time it any worse because bill costs just went through the roof and projects were just cancelling left, right, and centre. And now being in the space that we are, I feel like I've understood these projects probably a little bit better than maybe others because I get so involved in the nitty-gritty. Like we manage everything by trade. We supply pretty much most of the material. Now we've systematized that a little bit better so that our trades are helping me out on areas that they're way better at doing and they don't mind doing. Whereas now I can look at this and I can estimate everything by square meter.
Yeah, because you got involved in the detail.
Because I've got the data.
Yeah.
I've got the data of doing this over probably 120 units, HMO rooms, over the last 3 years. So
incremental growth. But
sure.
back yourself, basically.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm a big believer that, sometimes what can seemingly be the worst things that happen to you are often the best things.
100%.
And like I tell this story about being in the oil and gas industry and entering that industry when the price of oil dropped like from $100 a barrel to 20. It was actually the biggest opportunity for me. And I think for yourself, coming into what probably felt like a horrible time in property, when you did, meant you had to pivot and adapt and develop skills that you probably wouldn't have learned if times were a little bit different. So I think that's really good advice, and look, really excited to see what you do next. I think you've done a phenomenal job here. The numbers speak for themselves, the quality of the product speaks for themselves. So yeah, I suppose as a mate as well, well done.
No, I appreciate it.
What I am, I'm proud of you, buddy. And listen, guys, what a fantastic project. Hope you have enjoyed that tour around with Saif in this project. And if you want to know more about projects like this, then you can follow Saif on social media. We'll put his handle on, and also follow us at Capstone Fox and the Fox Club, where we share lots of information like this to help people get started and scale in property. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Nice one.